They taking over the music industry. I'm convinced. The beat is too heavy. Hey, okay, anyway. So today, hey, what up? So, I was actually thinking this morning, because I always like do a little meditation in the morning. I do some yoga, and sometimes things come to my mind about, just about life and about the day, about what I'm experiencing. So, I was thinking this morning about how, spirituality, it's kind of, to me, it seems like people are, and maybe it's just in my perspective, but, people are trying to box it in, like it's a religion. But spirituality isn't religion. If we're going to define the two, spirituality wants you to think for yourself. It wants you to have experience for yourself. It wants you to check in with your inner being. It really is like the rebel. Really, it would be like the opposite of religion. It would be like, nah, fuck what you talking about. I'm about to figure it out myself. And there ain't no blueprint to this shit, because I'm making my own blueprint. I'm having my own experiences that I'm drawing from, and my own conclusions and my own thoughts about things. And I think that, because you see, this wave of, the conscious collective, coming in, and you have, because what I'm noticing is, I was talking to my friend the other day, there's a lot of crystal shops popping up everywhere. They got a shop on Melrose where, they do specific candles for specific retrogrades and for specific astrology. Everything is very specific, and they have, all kind of, it's really cool. It's awesome. I really like that type of shit. But it's just interesting because there's, these guidebooks now where it's this is how you do this. This is how you use this. This is the prayer that you can speak with it. And that's what's kind of interesting to me. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just interesting because it's if I'm doing some type of ritual, or if I'm going to light a 7-day candle, or if I'm going to burn some sage, or if I'm going to light the Palo Santo, or if I'm going to pray over my food, whatever it is, are you really pulling out a notebook for that? Are we really reading somebody else's language or somebody else's blueprint or guidebook on how to express the gratitude that we feel for our own life? You know what I mean? We need to be more encouraged to make things more tailor-made so that there's a lot more variety among our dialogue. Otherwise, it's the same thing as religion that you're going to be trying to shove down somebody's throat. Because we all know that, I can't even say back in the day, I ain't that old. But I used to go to church, and I don't see nothing wrong with church. I really don't. I think it's a great place where people gather and they share ideas. But Christianity has taken a lot of blows because, there's been a lot of rules associated with Christianity. But that's not even real Christianity. But it turned a lot of people off of Christianity and of other religions because of the perceived rules that surround the religion, right? And really, let's ask the question, what is religion? Religion is something you do every day. That's really what that word actually means. So it's what are we doing every day? What thoughts are we having, surrounding this? And if we really want to share spirituality, we can't share it like religion. We can't share it here, you need to read this and you need to think about it like this. Your actions and you showing up and who you are, that's how you share spirituality. You know what I'm saying? Just by being nice. I was reading this book called Conversations with God. It's a very beautiful book. There's 3 of them. I really like number 2 because it kind of addresses more about the world. Number 1 is a lot more about the self, which is cool. But today I read a passage that really stuck out to me, and it was saying that feeling good is our indicator that our last thought was of love, and our last action was of love, and our last words was of wisdom. It's producing a feel good feeling means that your thoughts are in line, your actions are in line. You know what I mean? But it's some people, some of us in the world that are still, it's how we see feeling good is off. Because if you feel like harming people is feeling good, then your meter is all the way off. You know what I mean? But those are the type of people that have been victimized, and they're victims of victims of victims, and we can't forget that when we're speaking to people. because that's where we're going to have to draw our compassion from. You know what I'm saying? It's understanding that all behavioral patterns are all just they're just a result of how somebody grew up, the conditioning in the household that they grew up in. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, the gift that has been given to us who have survived certain levels of trauma is the opportunity to cultivate more compassion in life. You know, especially when it's coming from the family, which it usually does when we're speaking of real heavy trauma, you know? And so it just had me thinking, like, all of this together to bring it all back, I suppose. Like, you know, I would never want to convey something about spirituality to be pushed on to someone like they need to be more aware, or they need to wake up, or they need to think like I think, or they need to move like I move. Like, nah, like, everybody has a process, you know, everybody's process is different too. And so it's like when we're dealing with people and we hear that language, like, oh, you know, you're mirroring whoever you're with. Well, sometimes you're not just mirroring them. Sometimes the mirror doesn't match. You know, you're like, damn, like, I ain't this type of person. Why am I dealing with these type of people? Maybe those people are the type of people that you're judging, and that's why they're becoming your mirror. You know what I mean? Because it's that judgment within, you know, that those people are actually helping you work out. Because in a sense, I look at everybody who comes into the life like there's some type of a teacher. You know, they're teaching you something, whether it's in a negative form or a positive form. Either way, somebody always got something to give you if you can step back and look at the situation with critical thinking, which that's what spirituality actually assists, is critical thinking, because that's something we're not really taught in school, is how to critical think. Our whole life has been a structured discipline. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get into school, you have a structured discipline. And structured discipline, why do we have it? It produces results. You know what I'm saying? Religion, for instance, it produces results. If you have a religion where you invoke fear within people, what is it going to do? It's going to keep them from certain behaviors because they're scared. Or, on a positive note, if you have a structured discipline of exercise every day, what is the result? You're going to have a body that's athletic and in shape. So it's like, because we're conditioned in this manner of how we think, right? So we have these building blocks and we have these barriers and these boundaries. A lot of the times we're not asking the correct questions to ourselves about why something is the way it is, because that's really what critical thinking is asking why there's a boundary here, why there's a limitation. Where am I where I'm not open enough to see a reality beyond my own, you know? And that's where we're really like plugging into a new program in our mind, in a sense. Like, I don't care what anybody says, like, there's no expediting this shit. Not at all. And people like to think that too. It's like, because we have such an information overload right now, because we have access to the internet and we have access to so many people, so many gurus, so many teachers, we have all this access, right? It seems that it should speed up the process, right? But no, it's not like that. It's literally like taking a body that's out of shape and getting it in shape. It's not something that it happens overnight. We not building a fucking skyscraper in a week. Like, this shit, you have to dissect all of these emotions that have had a barrier on them for a long time, and it's with each and every one of us. But some of us are karmically chosen to work out this web that we've weaved and got caught in. You know what I mean? So some of us are on that path. That's how I feel. I feel like I was chosen to work out the family karma, because nobody else want to feel the feelings that I had to feel to get where I'm at. And that's what it is where there's no fear, then we can be allowed to feel the feelings of pain, of trauma, of any of that bullshit that sets us back. When we have no fear, when we go there, then all of a sudden the fear starts to dissipate in other areas, right? So the more that we're able to feel the pain that we hold on the inside, that our family and our ancestors wasn't trying to feel, you know what I'm saying, because they locked it up. Now You know what I'm saying? Our responsibility. Okay, boom, I'm feeling it. Now fear starts to dissipate. Now I'm opening my channel so more energy, more light can come in. Because the less fear that we have, the more light we're going to be able to hold, right? And that's why I was talking about the other day about not giving a fuck. There is something special to that in the best way. Because it's like, at this point, I'm not attached to nothing because I can't be. There's nothing. The only thing that defines me is within here. And nobody can take that from me. So I'm not scared of nothing at this point. And then once you've released all the pain and the fear, you know, that's been locked up, okay, I had to feel that. But that's been a process, and it's an unraveling. It's like it's like peeling back an onion. It's like you can't just walk into a calculus class and you haven't done algebra yet. You're not even gonna understand why the alphabet is mixed up with the fucking letters. I mean, numbers. You know what I mean? Like it's not. We peeling back each layer of the onion. You're not just cutting that bitch open and saying, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? No, this is like, and on top of that, life is cyclic in fashion. So you're gonna have to revisit shit over and over and over again your whole fucking life. You know what I mean? Like, that's why being comfortable with the oscillations of life, riding the wave and understanding that we're not actually the wave. You know what I mean? You can look back and you can witness it and you can understand that pain has a prize in your life just like love does. You know, because it's a teacher. And so is love. And the lower we can go, the higher we can go. Like on a balance scale, right? So if I dip all the way down here into the darkness, I'm going to be able to experience more light. That's the balance of life. That's why like my brother, he's locked up right now, right? And he's going to be doing like 4 years for some shit. But he's been a drug addict the last 10 years of his life. And most people that I know that like been on drugs or been to jail or had like, because it's like the amount of potential, you know what I'm saying, in those people is so crazy. It's a lot more than other people. That's the thing. It's like you literally been trapped in a prison in your mind, and then the bars actually physically showed up around you. You know what I'm saying? That's how trapped you became in your own mind. If you can get out of that, you gonna be a cold motherfucker when you're done. And that's what, like, I talked to my brother on the phone. I'm like, you don't understand what type of opportunity you have right now. And the fact that you do have access to knowledge. And I'm not saying I'm the only one who's giving it to him, but there's a lot of smart people who are incarcerated. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in there who read a lot, who actually take the time to make sense of the bondage. You know what I mean? Figuring out how to get out of it. And so, like, to send all of those books into jail, oh yeah, let that shit filtrate the system. You know? Let the mind become more open. Let the thinking become more critical. Like, you think about the word critical. When something is critical, it is important. This shit is critical. This means we need important thinking. You know? Anyway, it was all on my mind this morning. I was just, you know, like, I just think that being gentle is a good word. Being gentle with the process and not judging yourself, because that's the hardest part throughout the whole thing, because shit's just gonna happen and you got to take your hands off the wheel at some point. You know what I mean? But to be gentle with yourself while you're doing that, and to know that the process as it unfolds, that what's actually on the other side of the unfoldment is more knowledge, more wisdom, less fear. Fear is only essential in certain aspects, you know, because we can't just dissipate fear altogether. You know what I mean? You need fear in certain ways. But when it comes to fear of listening to that inner guidance and wanting to move forward and not thinking enough of yourself, you know what I mean? Because I definitely been there too. Like, oh, I can't have this, I can't have that. Like, if you have that type of mentality or those type of thoughts, is it like, then pay attention to how you feel after you think that. If you think I can't, does it give you the best feeling? Do you feel good about I can't? Do those two words make you feel great? They don't. So they're not the truth. Feeling good is the truth. Whatever makes you feel good is the truth for you. You know? and to respect that each person has their own truth, and that's what we're sharing. That, like, to encourage people for their own perspective, but also to know that the responsibility that each of us hold is very critical, because what I do to affect somebody else, that person now has that energy to affect somebody else, to affect somebody else, to affect somebody else. That's why the collective consciousness, right, our group thinking is so important, because the more of us that come into a higher thought process of something that makes us feel good, which is the truth, the world begins to heal. We see less crime, we see less war, but we are all subscribed to this shit right now. There's a majority of us that are subscribed to the way that the world is, and that's why the world displays the behaviors it displays. And a lot of us, there's a lot of people who aren't conscious enough to be able to even open up the box and feel the pain on the inside and release it. You know what I mean? To change that perspective, because change is very hard for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people can't even have a little bit of change without a lot of anxiety. Like, you'll fuck their whole life up if you change plans. You know what I mean? There's people like that. I still deal with them. But I ain't mad at them because they in their process. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I'm glad I don't freak out like that, because that sucks. That would be hard for me, because I don't even care if somebody's want to change anything. I'll be like, man, all right, cool. I'm where I'm supposed to be at all times. So no matter if I got disappointed because I didn't get to go somewhere or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm here now, and I gotta choose to be here. You know, like, choose to be where you at. This shit's fun when you do that. Like, okay, I'm gonna make fun of this. This is a playground. Don't forget, this is a playground. So that you got to go through your process sometimes to get through the playground, because, you know, I done went through the dark before and I didn't see it as a playground. And now it's a playground. But, you know, the oscillations of life. This is what we riding. This is what we learning. This is what we teaching. All that. Anyway, it's a beautiful day, and it's a lot of energy in the air. I feel it. Like, I feel good. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. You know? And, I don't know. What else? Pray that there's not so much traffic for me and I get to my destination. I'll be in traffic for like 2 hours, but makes good for live videos, right? All right.